Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. We are not registered financial advisors. Hey everyone, breaking news coming out of Global X Canada. I'm sure you've seen it. Some fantastic new covered call ETF launches. That's typically what Global X Canada does. When they have new launches, they launch a bunch at the same time. So I'm going to have an official sponsored video coming out soon to cover all of these new funds. I'm just waiting for some answers to the questions I had. So luckily I have a great relationship with Global X Canada. So I had a few questions before I fully cover all of these. I'm going to get answers to those questions. I'll make that video later on. But I just want to go over real quick here what I feel is could be the new covered call ETF launch of the year. Of course, it's May. The year is not over yet. But they launched a bunch of new ones. Some covered call, some non-covered call. But the notable one for me is really CMCL, which essentially is a leveraged version of CMCC, right? So typical Global X fashion, you change the C to an L. Sometimes most of the time they have a leveraged version. And if they do, it's the same stock symbol. You just change that C to an L, right? ENCC, ENCL, GLCC, GLCL, etc., 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 etc. So CMCL is the 25% leverage version of CMCC. You guys know that I personally will always take the leverage version. I don't see why. But this is a dream come true if you like commodities. I really, really like this ETF, and I'm going to tell you why. Go through it real quick here. So first of all, anyway, the management fee is 85 basis points. On the non-leverage version, it's 65 basis points. This is always one negative, I feel. Global X does this sometimes. The leverage version has 20 basis points more fee. I don't know why they do that. I think it should be the same fee or at least a zero. Either way, it's not a crazy amount more. Just want to point it out to you real quick before we go through the good stuff here. And another thing is that the holdings in CMCL, there's no, first of all, it's all in uppercase. There's no ETF symbol. So what I'm going to do is, because CMCL is just a 25% leverage version of CMCC, I'm going to do the review within CMCC because for some reason, the holdings look much cleaner, much nicer with the actual ETF. So this is an all-in-one commodity producers equity covered call ETF. The longest name of all time, but it has to be in there. They actually put all-in-one in the title. I thought that was very good from a marketing perspective, and it really is an all-in-one for commodity producers. So it literally has everything you could ever want for a one-stop shop for commodities with covered calls. Now, they do have a non-covered call version, by the way. ComX is literally the same thing without the covered calls. It's still all-in-one, is still in the name. Commodity producers, by the way. But of course, we are income investors. But hey, ComX. If you look at what it has, by the way, it's literally the non-covered call versions, if you will, of the ETFs inside, right? Typical Global X, that's what they've done. They're very smart in terms of creation here and breakdown. So CMCC, of course, we're going to focus on what commodities are we talking about. We are talking about gold, silver, copper, lithium for those batteries, oil and gas, aka energy, natural gas, and uranium. Everything you could want, guys. I love that. That's the first thing I love about this. You have everything. Second thing I love about this is that personally, when you're doing a covered call strategy, especially, and even if you're not doing a covered call strategy, if you actually look at the performance of gold, physical gold, like a GLD ETF versus gold producers, silver, just physical silver, I believe the ETF is SLV, versus silver producers, copper versus copper producers, just buying a spot oil price versus oil and gas producers, what you'll realize is that the producers have more volatility, have more total return over time, right? That's a given. If you just do GLCC versus HGY, right, the gold producers covered call versus physical gold covered call, it's not even close by a lot. So I'm assuming, and I don't really know exactly for silver and copper, but I'm assuming it's the same thing. So that's one thing I really like, that there's the physical crap is not in here. It's the producers, which, because we're covered call investors, it's much more important. There's more options. Yeah, there's more volatility. There's more option premium, and there's better performance. So what am I trying to say? Personally, I would never invest in a gold ETF. I would prefer the gold producer ETF, silver producer. So that's one thing I really like about this smart. And it's in the name, right? Commodity producers, not all in one commodity. Commodity producers. So how are you getting this exposure? Another thing I like, how are you getting this exposure? Let's look at the holdings, by far the most important thing. Remember, this is CMCC, but CMCL is just 25% leverage version, which means it's literally the same ETFs. They just have bigger percentages, and it'll come out to 125 approximately. So 25% and 25%. So 50% of the fund, the biggest chunk of the fund, is in oil and gas and gold. I like this. I like that it's not equal weight between the commodities. I like that there's more gold and energy versus copper and silver, et cetera, et cetera. I think it makes complete sense. Another thing I like is who has the best performing oil, energy, Canadian oil and gas covered call ETF, and the top performing gold producer covered call ETF. It's Global X Canada with their GLCC and ENCC. Keep in mind, CMCL, they're going to hold the non-leveraged versions, right? This is not holding ENCL and GLCL, even the leveraged one, but the percentages are higher. So you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? So I really like, because ENCC and GLCC, they're the top covered call, top performing energy and gold producer ETFs out there. So you have the biggest chunk in oil and gas, Canadian, and which is, let's go through them, guys. We're doing the breakdown here. I'm kind of, this is the stuff I do when I try to look at an all-in. When you look at an all-in-one, this is like an HDIV or an HYLD or something like this. This is what you should do. You gotta, fully break it down and start investigating each of the ETFs. And the three biggest ones by far is the oil and gas, the gold, and the copper producer. So ENCC, you guys know what it is. Very, very popular. ENCL, of course. Basically top oil and gas producers in Canada, just the big boys. And it's oil and gas producers and pipelines as well. Okay, pipelines as well. So Pembina, TC Energy, I know Enbridge is in there for sure. Just what I don't like about Global X website is they only show the top 10, but there's more. So essentially the big, it has a big chunk in the equal weight in this one, and RGY, which has the same stocks. It all follows the same index. It's the Memory Asset Equal Weight Canadian Oil and Gas Index. Okay, and they do cover calls on it. The reason why there's a chunk in this ETF is that I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure that there's not going to be no covered calls on this. So because they're 35%, the rest is 65%, they'll hold the stocks because they're writing cover calls on the stocks. But essentially, it's the big oil and gas producers in Canada. These are only Canadian companies, right? So Suncor, Canadian Natural, the big two. Imperial is big, Cenovus is big. You got a couple of other little smaller ones, but they're all big, the big cap. So 25% approximately is in oil and gas. 25% is in GLCC, which is gold producers, which, this is the top ones in Canada. This is top global gold producers. Then you have a nice chunk in copper. So copper is the material you need to build anything and everything, I believe. So a nice chunk in there. That's via the CPCC ETF. So if you look at the holdings, it's just, I don't know all these companies by heart, but it's the top copper producers in the world. You have 9% in silver producers via SVCC. This is a new ETF. So this is not silver, this is silver producers. So again, all very similar. You got, I don't know what the top silver producers are of all time, but these are just the biggest ones. They also have the Global X. So this is where, okay, let's go to this one next, uranium. So then there's uranium, URCC. This is new ETF. This is uranium cover call ETF. So Obviously, nuclear is getting bigger, very, very popular. The biggest company is Cameco, I believe. Cameco is in here. So you'll see that it does hold the Global X Uranium ETF, URA. This is a Global X US ETF. So if you look it up, this is the ETF that it actually holds. And if you go to the holdings, you'll see that it's basically market cap weighted, the big ones at the top, Chemical, massive, massive positions. So it holds that ETF and it holds the individual stocks as well, which I'm assuming they're doing covered calls on the actual individual stocks. Moving on. Then they have the Global X Lithium Battery and Battery Tech ETF, LIT, which is another Global X US. So this is a cool thing. They're leveraging the relation. Obviously, it's the same company, but all under Murray Asset Management. But they're leveraging already big and popular Global X US sector-specific ETFs like LIT, which is massive. I mean, $2 billion is big. What about URA? Super massive, 7 billion, right? So this is a cool collaboration that they're doing, I guess. Very, very interesting. But you'll notice that, this is a cover call, this is a cover call ETF, cover call ETF, cover call ETF, cover call ETF. This one is not, right? So I'm assuming maybe they're writing cover calls on the actual LIT ETF itself. It would not surprise me because it's pretty big. So usually when an ETF is really big, like in the billions, there's actually options on it. But this is one of the questions I'm waiting to hear back from. Now, in terms of these three companies, we could only assume these are for the natural gas, right? Because if we look at the seven, gold, silver, copper, lithium, oil and gas, natural gas, uranium. Natural gas is really the one where there's no real ETF. So I'm assuming that these three, I'm pretty sure because this is where the natural gas exposure is. So it's about 7% here. So about 7% natural gas, 7% uranium, 7% lithium and battery tech, 9% silver, 20% copper, 25% gold, 25% oil and gas. So one thing I really like is the allocation percentages. I think it makes sense to allocate more to gold and oil, that's my opinion, and a bit less in the silver and the more uranium. I think it makes sense. Maybe that'll change over time. But so it's not an equal weight between the 7 commodities, the 7 resources. I like that. I think that makes sense. So the reason is that if you look at ComX, which is the all-in-one commodity producers and the ETFs that they have, here's the one for oil and gas. Here's the one for gold, copper, silver, lithium, uranium. And you see that the natural gas one, for their natural gas, it's LNGX. If we look at LNGX, which is a Global X US ETF, you see that it's fairly small, 57 million. So maybe there's no options available. Now, if you look at the stocks in there, you see that the top two is Devon and EQT by a lot. And there's even Antero right here. So those are the three stocks, Antero, Devon, and EQT. So they seem to get the natural gas exposure. Instead of adding an ETF, they added some top 3 stocks, and I'm assuming they're going to be writing cover calls on that. So that's the entire breakdown of the ETF, everyone. I think this is a fantastic, fantastic ETF. I'm going to be probably investing in, I know for sure I'm going to be adding this to my portfolio because it solves all your commodity problems. It's an all-in-one commodity ETF, covered call ETF. Obviously, the first distributions has not been declared yet. It's going to be a monthly distribution. So expect a fully sponsored, in-depth video on all of these where I'll probably answer the questions that I have. The assumptions that I made, I'll confirm those. I'm waiting to hear back from Global X Canada. I'm sure we're gonna get all the answers. I'll review all of these. But if you don't want the all-in-one, if you don't like the breakdown, you could always build your own with the individual, right? Right. You have the silver one. There's a leveraged version of the silver producers. There's SVCC, SVCL, right? So you have every flavor now. You could have the silver. You could have the silver producers. Silver producers without the cover calls, which is SVLX. You have the silver producers with the cover calls, and you have the leverage version. So typical Global X fashion, you're getting every single option for whatever you want. Personally, for me, I'm always going to get the cover call with the leverage And I love the all-in-ones. I'm not really a big gold buff or silver buff, or I don't want to decide. So this is perfect for someone like me who's just agnostic to all of it, but thinks that commodity producers is just a good idea. It's just is. It's a great complement to a stock portfolio. You're getting the raw commodities, which is hedged to inflation and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I love the fact that it has all of them. And I love the fact that it's market cap weighted. Not market cap weighted exactly, but there's more in gold and energy. I like that. And what's there not to like? It's just fantastic. Um, I like that. It's just very, very easy, very, very, very simple. And oh yeah, I like the fact that it's not the raw commodities, that it's the actual producers. Higher volatility, better call premiums, and better total returns over the producers are like I discussed at the beginning, right? Perform better. It makes sense for cover calls. So this is just a fantastic launch from Global X Canada. I think this could easily be their launch of the year. Maybe the cover call launch of the year. CMCL, definitely going to be adding it to my portfolio. I know there's going to be some eligible dividends in here, right? Because I go back to CMCC, which is much better. The holdings, obviously ENCC, GLCC, and I'm assuming CPCC. There is some eligible dividends or foreign income, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy amount. I think that, I'm talking about, this is just tax wise. This for me, I'm just talking to myself because I'm a non-resident. Obviously, I'm going to try to put as much of this as I can in my TFSA, but even in the cash account, it's not so bad. I'm assuming maybe 10 to 12% of the income is going to be Canadian eligible dividend slash foreign income. I think about 90% plus will still be capital gains in ROC. So it's still going to be very tax efficient for me. Not as good as a QQCL, which is all capital gains in ROC. But I think that it's a sacrifice I'll have to make, and I'll put some of it in my non-registered, and that's completely fine because this is a really good all-in-one ETF, which is literally a great complement to stocks, right? You get the commodities, right? So, I mean, our lives are just, as PIIers, cannot get any easier, guys. We have an all-in-one commodities. We have the single stocks with cover calls and leverage. Any single stock you want practically. Concentrated portfolios, indexes, and just keeps getting better and better and easier. So just wanted to make a video looking at CMCL, which I think is definitely the most important one out of all the new launches. And again, I'll have an in-depth video coming out soon where I'll go over it in detail, where Global X Canada will approve everything I said, so to confirm all the information. But yeah, really like this ETF. Let me know what you think about these ETFs. Which one is your favorite? I'm assuming CMCL. To me, it just solves a lot of problems. A great all-in-one solution. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Stay safe, stay passive, and stay honorable. See you next time.